It's hard to tell, but it feels like a lot of water. I feel a lot of water on the back of my head, but I don't think it's leaked from my back.
Are you sweating? Are you working hard?
I am sweating, but it feels like a lot of water.
I see it now, wiggling.
All right, Chris and Luca, just for you guys, based on what we heard with Lucas saying that water is in his eyes now and it seems to be increasing, we think we're in a terminate EVA case for EV2. So, Luca, we'll have you head back to the airlock. Chris, we'll get a plan for you to clean things up here and then join him here in a minute.
Hatches open, Shane.
I think that for a couple of minutes there, maybe more than a couple of minutes, I experienced what it's like to be a goldfish in the fishbowl from the point of view of the goldfish. So about half an hour into the EVA, 45 minutes maybe, Chris and I were ahead on our task, so we were starting our third task, and I felt some water on the back of my head, and I realized that it was cold water. It was not a normal feeling, so I told ground. Chris came by to give it a look. He couldn't see anything. He took some pictures of it, but it wasn't until a couple of minutes later that we actually saw the water trickling in the front of the helmet, and then I felt it covering my ears. And at that point, we called the terminate for the EVA. I started going back to the airlock, and the water kept trickling until it completely covered my eyes and my nose. It was really hard to see. I couldn't hear anything. It was really hard to communicate. I went back using just memory, basically going back to the airlock until I found it, and then went inside, and Chris was there in split seconds to come inside, close the airlock, and repressurize. Karen was already there, ready to repressurize. Our Russian colleagues were all there to help, and as soon as the two compartments were equalized, they doffed, meaning they took off my helmet, wiped my face from all the water, about 3 pounds of water, I would say, and that was the end of it.
This is Luca's helmet, and the ventilation air comes into the helmet through this port right here, and then goes behind the crew member's head, and then blows the air across the front of your face. Well, with water, a mixture of water and air getting into this vent port, the water bubbles started to build up behind this white plastic piece. Once the water got big enough that it went all the way around and started coming outside the edge of the white plastic, then it saturated his communication cap, and sort of capillary flow just brought the water all around his head, and he had water and it filled up in his ear cups, and it started to creep into his eyes and covered his nose. Scary situation. The ground teams worked really well to give us some direction, and as a team we got everybody back and everything was fine.
For me, the worst part, as Chris mentioned, I was miserable, but okay. It's just imagine walking around with your eyes closed in a fishbowl. Really, that's what was going on at the moment. It's just a very uncomfortable feeling to be with your face underwater for all that time. But the reaction of the crew was outstanding. I think the crew on the ground and the crew on board. Chris really supported me, and I was just lucky to be back inside in no time.
Work team is complete, and we'll continue on with the rest.